All right, what is up, crew? I believe we are live now. Hopefully, you all are doing amazing. I forgot to check my internet connection. Just plugged in my Ethernet cable, so I want to make sure we got a good, clear stream. All right, we're good. We will officially begin. Say what's up in the chat. Let me know if you guys can hear and see me okay. It's been a super relaxed day. It's the first real hard rainy day in Oregon, which is hoodie weather, feeling good. Had a great day at the office. We had the full team here. Ryan was getting the shipping out. Jamie was doing a bunch of eBay photos. I was catching up on all my online interwebs work, finishing up some of this Shopgo stuff. It's been a great day. Mr. Pat D's in the house. What's up, Stone Builder? How are you guys doing tonight? So I'm going to give people a minute to hop on the live chat, and I will be diving in, talk a little motivation versus commitment. This might turn into a slight rant video. Some of you enjoy those, some of you don't. So just a precaution. And then we will do open Q&A sesh for the remainder of the time. But first, I forgot my LaCroix. I'm still waiting on my check. All right, you guys know what we got to do. Bust that thing open, and we will begin. Oh, sweet, nice. Well, welcome in, first time. I'm also curious if anyone else's first time here, let me know. Welcome into the chat. I'm going to open up with a little topic, nastiest drink of the night. I can only tolerate a few of them, actually. I drink several, but I can only tolerate a few. Talk loud, I'm outsourcing. Mr. Real Life FBA. Okay, he's on. We can officially begin the chat. Oh, it's so funny. Awesome, we got a few first timers in here. Welcome in, guys. So I'm going to open up with the topic of the night, and then we'll continue on with a little Q&A sesh. Hit us over there with some of those truth bombs. Mr. Dr. Holiday, one of our admins up in the chat. All right, this might get a little hot and sweaty. I'm gonna roll up the sleeves here. All right, so I'm just gonna dive in. We still have people hopping in here, and you guys can watch the recording. If you're just hopping in and you're gonna miss the first section, if you were watching the recording, thanks for tuning in. And let's go. So my topic of the night, I have no bullet points or like top 3 tips or anything like that. But what I am gonna talk about is more of a mindset thing, which is your mentality when it comes to being motivated to do stuff and then being committed to actually follow through with it. And this is all stuff that I used to struggle with a lot. I used to be the kind of person that I needed to be motivated to do anything. So, I mean, I come from a very, very lazy, procrastinating background. That's who I was. Okay, I was playing video games 8 to 10 hours a night. That's not even an exaggeration. I was one of the video gamers that just didn't sleep much. I slept like 3 or 4 hours a night, full-time job, all that shenanigans. And that just taught me to be extremely lazy and to procrastinate all my stuff. So then when we got into creating our own side hustles, creating our own business for ourselves, that tendency, those habits carried through. And I realized real quick after not making much money very often that I can no longer rely on being motivated, which in my terms is feeling like it. And I know a lot of people struggle with that, where you know what you need to do, especially if you are in a situation where you just started your business. And here we're mainly talking about reselling. That's our main gig here on this channel. So let's talk about the reselling aspect specifically. Most of you are in a position where you know exactly what to do. Okay, it's not a matter of I need to watch more YouTube videos, I need to follow more Instagram accounts. You don't need any more of this. Okay, you don't need more content. You need more hustle. You need more consistency. So the what am I trying to say here? The habit is always relying to feel motivated to get up and do something or to take your business to that next level. If you are making, let's say, $500 a month in sales and you are completely happy with that, awesome. Keep doing what you're doing because you're going to keep making $500 a month in sales. But if you want to increase that to $1,000 a month, you then have to double your work. Okay? It's very basic when it comes to numbers here. The more you want to sell, the more you have to list, the more you have to ship into Amazon. Whatever your business model is, everyone's different here. But point being, you have to increase your workload. Now, that doesn't necessarily always mean you putting in more time. You can be efficient with it, which means hire a virtual assistant, hire an employee. We've talked about all these topics in the past on this channel. But if you are relying on being motivated to get anything done, you are not going to last long. And that is something I have learned firsthand. I struggle with it even to this day. It's definitely not a huge habit of mine anymore, but there are definitely days where I'm just like, I don't feel like doing anything. And I will literally put my feet up on my desk and I'll find myself just scrolling brain numbingly through Instagram and Facebook without doing any productive work. Okay. I know I'm not the only one that has struggled with that. But what I've learned over time is consistency and being committed to the outcome is what counts. A lot of people just have this idea of being interested in the results. And this is what separates the successful versus the unsuccessful, in my personal opinion. Those who are just interested and love the idea of a certain result, and those who are truly committed to the result, the committed ones are going to get it every single time. I see we got some first timers up in here. What's up, guys? Chit-chatting about motivation versus commitment, some personal stuff that I've dealt with over the years, stuff that I still struggle with because we're all human. We all struggle with our own battles going on. So that's something I definitely had to learn, because I used to be the kind that would look at these numbers and be like, oh my gosh, I want to be a 6-figure seller. But in reality, I just love the idea of it. I did not love the idea of the process to get there. Being committed to the daily grind, being committed to the daily work that has to happen, not just when I feel like getting up and doing it. And when I became committed to those daily tasks, the actions to get there, the process, when I became committed to that, I was then committed to the result. And we are now 6-figure sellers aiming for that 7-figure mark. That is what separated the results that we were having versus what we are getting now. So when it comes to that, you have to really sit down and ask yourself, am I just interested in a certain result, or am I actually committed to doing the work? Because it's easy to tell those who are committed to doing the actual work. If I ask you guys right now, like, tag somebody who you know is just straight up hustle, works their ass off no matter what, those are the people that are going to win. And if you don't fall under that category, you're not going to win. It's very black or white. And I know there's a lot of gray areas in this business and in this whole thing, but I try to look at things as black and white as I can. Does not happen all the time, but that's just how I am. I know that if I get up and I don't feel like doing anything, I just simplify it. I ask myself, what are the top 2 or 3 things I can get done today that would move me forward, move our business forward? I don't care if I feel like doing it or not. It's the same thing with exercise, guys. Let me just flip this around to health talk real quick. And I know some of you just rolled your eyes like, oh, here we go again. The fitness talk. So recently I started kicking my own ass. Okay. Recently started kicking my own ass, both physically and mentally. So physically in the gym, mentally for me, more so on the nutrition side. And in the last 45 days, like the last 6 weeks, I've dropped about 20 pounds. I'm sorry, not 20 pounds. 20 pounds is my goal. 14 pounds is what I've dropped. Okay. Let me make sure I got my numbers right. I was 220 on day one when I became committed to it. It was no longer just I'm interested in getting lean, in a lean athletic build and physically just feeling like $1,000,000. I'm no longer just interested in that. I became truly mentally committed to the process. And that meant increasing my intensity and my consistency in the gym. That meant more so than the gym was actually taking my nutrition serious, cutting out all the crap foods, stop overeating, even on the healthy foods. Having a giant plate of healthy food is still going to cause you to gain weight or not lose weight, even if it's healthy, right? That gets into like the calories in, calories out thing. So I stopped treating my body like a garbage can is what it came down to with the nutrition side. So I went from 220 and now I'm sitting at about 206. And I'm dropping every single day. I'm dropping at least a quarter pound every single day at this rate because I'm not messing around anymore. I'm committed to the results. I'm committed to the process to get those results. Do I feel like doing this shit every day? Absolutely not. I am dragging some days where I literally just don't want to get into the gym. On top of that, my crazy ass and some of you guys in the chat here, we all committed to 100 burpees a day for 30 days, 3,000 burpees over the course of 30 days. We are now on day 15. We're at the exact halfway point. This morning was a prime example of I did my normal workout and I was doing sets of 10 burpees in between each set. And holy crap, I did not want to do those freaking burpees. Love lifting weights. I can do that all day, every day. I love it, love it, love it. Never get tired of that. You introduce any form of cardio, my lungs burn. I don't like it. I don't enjoy it. So that's why I did this burpee challenge to begin with. But I've been so committed to the process. I definitely do not feel motivated. I do not feel inspired to do these damn burpees. But I know that by committing to the daily process and just sucking it up and doing them, at the end of this, I am now going to get the results that I was looking for, which is increased cardio conditioning. I'm going to feel a ton better, and I'm going to be able to carry over and be able to use the cardio conditioning in the weightlifting world too. And so that, for me, was a complete mindset shift, because as I'm seeing the physical results, I'm down 14 pounds now, even more so than I don't care what the scale says, really. It's just my body's taking a shape physically that I haven't seen in many, many years. It's been like 5 or 6 years since I've seen below 200 pounds, and my body's taking that shape again. And I feel fantastic. My mental clarity, my energy. I actually am not even, I don't even need coffee most days anymore, which is rare for me because I love my coffee. But this physical challenge has made me start to think lately, and that's why I wanted to talk about this topic, because it's not me sitting here coaching you guys on, stick with the commitment, stop being motivated. It's not about me telling you guys what to do. It's just sharing my own journey, and hopefully some of you can relate with that and then get your shit together is what my goal is. But physically pushing myself in this challenge with between the burpees, like super strict, I am like 99.9% on track with my nutrition. It's been fantastic. I've only missed a couple days, whether it's like family events and outings, family dinners, etc. And even then, I'm not splurging nearly as much as I used to. I'm passing on all desserts, all sugar, all that kind of stuff. But I feel phenomenal. Like my mental clarity, my energy is just awesome. And I feel the difference. But that recently, in the last really like 2 or 3 days, it's just been in my head like, okay, if I stayed committed, in only about 6 or 7 weeks, I was able to drop 14 pounds and feel great again. Where am I not doing that in my business? Okay, because we've got Amazon FBA, we've got eBay, we now do a bunch of local sales, whether it's Facebook Marketplace, our monthly warehouse sale, we have our brick and mortar shop right next door. We've got Mercari is starting to become a thing, so now I'm starting to list on Mercari. And then we've also got the online presence, which is going to be our VIP group as a service that we run. We run a daily OA list. So all these things are running through my head of, if I took that level of commitment that I've had with my physical health lately, and I brought that into the business side, what type of results would I be getting out of that? Because just like with your physical health and your business, and the two are so correlated with each other, I don't think people realize that. I'm constantly finding the connections between your health and your fitness, your nutrition, and your business. They are directly correlated. It's all intertwined. Typically, the more you feel like shit, the less you're going to be productive in your business. That's just how it goes. So I found myself thinking about this a lot lately, where I'm thinking, if I pushed myself for 30 days and instead of doing 5 listings on eBay a day, I do just 10. Okay, we have enough inventory to do that. I've got a backlog of a few hundred items that I can easily get listed. And we've got 2 employees that do daily listings on top of that. So really, we should be doing like 20 listings a day, which some days we're getting there. And so I start thinking about all these different things, and I start pushing myself again, especially like Amazon FBA was on the back burner for several months over the summer. And so now we're getting back into the Amazon game a lot harder. And I'm finding myself pushing myself where it's, if I find a spare hour in the day, I'm going to a store and I'm going to go source. Even if it's just one aisle, a few items, just get in the store for 15 minutes and just scan. Don't stop scanning and go and find a few products to buy. So I've learned more so on myself than anything lately. The whole motivation BS, I cannot rely on anymore. Motivation is great. Don't get me wrong. Motivation has its place. Motivation is kind of like the spark to start something, but it's the commitment to the process and the commitment to the result that is ultimately going to drive you through that. And that's just something that's just been a game changer for me lately. And that's why I feel phenomenal, not just physically, but I feel great in our business again, right? Especially like summertime, we took a lull. We had a ton of family stuff going on, lots of trips. We went on several camping trips. So our work, it's not that our work ethic declined. Like we're hustlers. We don't mind doing work. It's just we weren't putting in as much time as we normally were. So that's just kind of like my personal take for topic of the evening, if you want to call it that, is just sharing my thought process on what I've been going through recently mentally with this whole like motivation versus commitment battle. And I feel really, really solid. I feel completely level-headed. I feel really good about where we are with everything. And it's because I've just been committed to that daily process. And again, shout out to Richard. You guys have heard of his name before. He's been doing 3 listings a day. He's now on 85 days in. And he took this exact advice that I've been talking about. We were on a VIP call 85 days ago. And he said, hey, I've got a death pile with several hundred items in it. And I said, you just need to commit to 3 listings a day. That's it. Doesn't matter if you feel like it. You just do 3 listings a day. I don't care what's going on in your day. I don't care how busy you get. Just 3 listings a day. That takes a few minutes, easily done. Okay. And he's now 85 days in on that. And that's the hard part about all of this, guys, is the tasks that are going to progress your business, even in your health and your fitness too. The tasks are very easy to do, and they're very easy not to do. That's why we tend to not do them, or we push them off. We procrastinate. We're all human. We all do it. Okay. I've got a list of at least 50 videos for YouTube that I know I should do, and I just keep procrastinating them because it's easy not to do them, but it's also easy to do them. I just throw up a camera and just boom, I do exactly what I'm doing here. I just talk about a subject. And so that for me has always been a challenge where I tend to procrastinate, just like most of you probably do too. We tend to procrastinate the stuff we don't feel like doing, and we tend to do the stuff that we enjoy doing, or we like doing, or we feel like doing. But point being, committing to the actual process of the things that are going to benefit you the most are ultimately going to be the things that drive you for long-term success. And it doesn't matter if it's your health and your fitness. I know several people, some people watch this channel too. I know several people that have lost 100+ pounds. They would tell you the same thing. They didn't feel like getting up and doing the work every day. They didn't feel motivated all the time to do the work. They just committed to the process. And that's where some of you might be lacking, is the commitment. Okay. So if you want tangible advice right now on like your reselling business, sit down, get a whiteboard, use your computer notepad, like pen and paper, whatever works for you. Sit down and write out all the things you do in your business that move it forward. So the sourcing, the listing, the photos, etc. And that's just for eBay. Like you've also got Amazon. If you do local sales, there's all kinds of different methods in here. But look at the different things that you do in your business. And some of you, it's each of your businesses, because some of you are side hustlers here. And ask yourself, where have I been slacking? Where have I not been committed to? And ask yourself, because of my lack of commitment, what is my result from that? And typically you're not going to be having as many sales as you want. You're not going to be having the profit that you want. You have a lot of backlog inventory, death pile, whatever you want to call it. Ask yourself what the result of those actions have been, and then create a new action, which will then drive a new result. What can I start doing every day? Again, you're not going for a huge, I'm going to do 20 listings a day, even though I've been doing 5. Like, don't do a massive jump. Just small little daily things that are typically going to be easier to do. They might only take you 5, 10, 15 minutes, but I'm telling you, if you just start doing it every single day, the consistency is going to rock your world. I'm telling you. Some of you as soon as next week, if you spend today, like start tonight. If you start tonight and for the next 7 days, stay consistent with a new action, I should get a message from one of you. And I'm going to put that challenge out there right now. Message me on Instagram, the Side Hustle Network. I should be getting one message from somebody out of the several hundred, more than 100. We usually get between like 1,000 and 2,000 views on these live videos in the first 24 hours. I should be seeing a message from at least one person that next week in 7 days, what's today, Tuesday. So by next Tuesday's live show, actually, we're going to be in Disneyland, so no live show next week. Different subject we'll talk about in a bit. I should be getting a message from somebody that says, hey, I started doing XYZ for 7 days in a row, and here's what the result was. I should be getting at least one message who does that. So that's my take, commitment versus motivation. Ultimately, use motivation as your spark. But if you think that spark, that honeymoon phase is going to be how it is every day, you're going to be very, very disappointed. You're going to get discouraged and you're going to quit. That's what we've seen too many people do. I've been doing this for 4 years now, especially running this YouTube channel almost 4 years. I have seen way too many people pop up. They're here on the live streams. They're commenting. They're having fun. They're starting the reselling business. They're inside of our VIP group. And then slowly but surely within the span of like 4, 5, 6 months, they kind of just disappear. Okay. Some of them I have not heard of in years, because they ultimately quit on themselves. They had false expectations. You cannot think that the honeymoon phase is going to keep lasting, because if you've been married, if you've started a workout program, if you started reselling, there's a honeymoon phase in all of it, okay? The hype of it eventually wears off, and then you're stuck with the actual work, the process, the commitment of it. That's my story. That's my take on commitment versus motivation. So now we can open up live Q&A sesh. If you guys have questions, reselling, life, fitness, I don't care what the question is. This is your guys' hour. So let's dive on in. And I know I've been neglecting the chat, so I'm going to scroll up, start from the beginning. Who do we got in here tonight? Where are you guys all watching from, by the way? I haven't asked that in a while. I like to see kind of where our audience is spread out. We have a lot of East Coast people that follow our channel. Short circuit. This is a very, very common issue that I definitely go through as well. I feel I have too many items and I don't know where to start sometimes. I have a locker with a death pile of hard goods and clothing. That is a legitimate thing that people go through, especially myself. If I walk into the office, for example, if I just see piles of stuff everywhere, even with how much work I should be doing, those days I typically don't do much. And that's just being brutally honest, because I'm overwhelmed. And it sounds like you struggle with this too. And I'm curious if anyone else struggles with this. Comment below, let us know. If you have so much to do and it overwhelms you, you kind of just like numb it out and don't do a whole lot. That's something I struggle with. So I can tell you from firsthand experience, you need to pick a day within the next like 4 or 5 day span. Pick a day where you have the most amount of time available. Okay. So maybe you have a day off work. Maybe you have a day where you don't have anything going on. Take 4 hours. Okay. 4 hours is a reasonable chunk where you don't really need to eat in a 4-hour time frame. You can focus. Take 4 hours, go in that locker, and just start with one small section. So instead of looking at the mess as a whole, especially the death pile, instead of looking at your death pile as a whole collective and being so overwhelmed that you're like, nope, I'm just going to shut the door and just go somewhere else. Just pick a little corner, pick a pile, pick somewhere to start and just start picking through it, okay? Sometimes you just have to organize a bunch of stuff and redonate. And I know that's going to freak some people out, but I've done it. If I have way too much stuff and I start to sort through, I'm going to find stuff that maybe wasn't a great buy and it's not worth a whole lot of my time to put into it, but then other stuff is worth more of my time. So there's where I start. So number one, go in there, just pick one small section and just start. You've got to start. Even if you want to set a number goal, just set a numbers goal to pick out 30 items, and those will get clean, tested, and listed that day. Okay. You don't have to do all 30 listings at once. You can schedule them out for the remainder of the week, whatever you want to do. But point being, pick a section and start with that, and then do it again the next day. But I say start with the biggest chunk first, because once you get going, it kind of ties back to motivation. Like motivation sometimes is extremely difficult to get going. It's like momentum, right? So momentum is slow moving in the start, but once you get the ball rolling, you're going to get in your groove. Hopefully you get in that focus mindset flow, whatever you want to call it. You get in that perfect state of mind to get in there and hustle, and you're going to get so much done in that 4-hour window. And then the next day when you go in, the pile is a little bit smaller, so it's a little bit more manageable. It's not so overwhelming. Then you go and pick 5 or 10 more items, and you just do that every single day. And eventually that death pile is gone. And I tell you what, when you don't have a death pile and you clean that shit up, it feels so good, especially when you start to sell the stuff that's been sitting around for a while. You start to see the money it's just been sitting there. So I'm glad you brought that topic up, because I think that's a huge one a lot of us struggle with, and not a lot of people openly talk about, just being so overwhelmed that you don't do anything. And that's totally my story sometimes. Taryn says, I refurbish laptops and sell them. Nice. That's a great business model to be in. What's up, Ecom Squad? I'm just scrolling through the chat, so I'm gonna do my best to get in here. Make sure I got all of you guys taken care of as far as questions go. But if I do miss over, or if I skip over a question or miss it, just put it back down in the comments. Mr. Hartle, I need more time in the day. Absolutely. I am right there with you. It's funny, like some days seem like they drag on, and like I can't just wait to like go home, put my feet up. And then other days are just, by the time I look up, it's like 6 o'clock. I got to get home to the family. I'm like, I wish I had like another 4 hours. Eric said, message you 3 times over time and no response. Where did you message me at? If it's on Instagram, I'm slowly picking through. So here's my method that I'm going to give you guys to get a hold of me. If you guys have seen my Instagram, I get hundreds of messages every single week. So it's just physically, I don't spend a lot of time on my inboxes because I'm busy doing my actual work. But I'm trying to get better at getting in my inbox more. But here's the method to get a hold of me. If I go more than a week and you have not seen a response, it's not because I'm ignoring you. I just haven't read the message. So if that's the case, it's been more than a week since I've replied back to any of your messages, just copy and paste it again and it will bump it to the top, and there's a better chance I'm going to get that. Or just put bump or something like that inside the message, it will bump it to the top. Because when you get, 40, 50, 60 messages a day, if you message me this morning and I don't look at my inbox until the afternoon, by the time the afternoon comes, your message is all the way down here, and the ones who messaged recently are the ones that are up top. So that's why I have a hard time keeping up with that. I used to strive for inbox perfection, where I would have my inbox at 0 at the end of each night. And it just got to be overwhelming. It got to be too overwhelming when I open it up and it says, you have 99 plus messages. But I'm getting better. What's up, Noel? I'm just the known lurker. That's hilarious. Can we make the day 20 hours? I would love that. I would definitely vote that up. All right. So yeah, we've got a lot of East Coast. I see Colorado, California, Phoenix. This is not all East Coast. We got a couple more. Hey, that's a good problem to have. You maxed out your eBay limit already starting out. So my tip is, when you first start eBay, you're going to be capped at 10 listings. Don't list slow moving stuff in the beginning. You want to show eBay that you are actually going to be an active seller. So list 10 items that sell really fast, even if it's at break even. I know that's a tip not everyone's going to agree with, But even if it's at break even, just so you can call eBay, and I've done a video on this, call eBay and say, hey, I'd like to get my limits raised. They're going to look at your account and see, oh, they've already sold a few items. Sure, let's bump you to 100 listings. But if you have 10 slow moving items when you first start, you're not going to get that listing increase very quick. So I would definitely recommend you go for fast moving stuff in the beginning. Obviously, we all want fast moving stuff no matter what, but especially in the beginning. Noel's definitely got a death pile or two. I have seen it firsthand. But hopefully the Disney death pile, we can work out a deal because I would love to get my hands on that. Mr. Real Life FBA with his weekly ad spot. Go give him a follow, subscribe. Good buddy of ours, one of our core VIP members, Martin, definitely knows his game in the FBA world. So go give him a shout. Let him know I sent you. Got to make sure his ad spot is getting paid for there. Oh, nice. Jen just got back from a bike ride with the kids. That's always fun. Happy to have a video up. Awesome. Advice to prevent death piles: list the cheaper stuff first. This will motivate you to get the better stuff listed. Absolutely. I definitely, when it comes to my death piles, I definitely cherry pick the high dollar stuff first because I'm motivated to get it done. Again, motivated versus committed. I need to be more committed to listing all of it, not just picking out the stuff that's going to make a larger profit. I mean, it's not bad, but y'all know what I mean. Oh my gosh, here we go with the battle. Hey, I'm good if you guys want to do this all night. You know, if you just want to keep going like $3, $4, like I'm not going to say anything. I'll go enjoy some beers on my cheat nights. Thanks to you guys. But shout out to Matthew Hartle for a $3 super chat because I am better than Real Life FBA. Shout out to Richard, Dr. Holiday, anything you could do. And then Mr. Short Circuit for $5. Much appreciated with the super chats, guys. Do we have 6? Can we get a 6? Let's just keep rolling. I don't know. Let's see. Tell you what, if we get $100 donated tonight as a total, I'll take $100 and gift it out. So we'll do a giveaway. Oh, it's hilarious. Ecom Squad is Rob. What's up, man? See, we got Mr. George Perez up in here. All right, drop your questions below. I've got about 30 more minutes. Yeah, thank you, Noel. Smash that like button. If you guys enjoy this content, smash the like button. It helps get our videos in front of more people. Let's just be honest. All right. Short Circuit. Okay. So here's the thing. Most of you guys have different YouTube usernames than your Instagram handles, than your Facebook names. So I don't know when it's certain people. So Short Circuit is a Freedom Seeker, one of our VIP members. Welcome in. Thank you. That is too funny. They are called money piles. It's literally just money sitting there. I had a boombox that sat for a year. Kid you not, sat for a year. I had bought it when we had our other warehouse spot, which is around the corner in the same building. I bought it and it went in a death pile over there. And we transferred it here where it sat for like 3 months. And then I listed it and sold for $95. And I paid $3 for it. That was prime example of why you just don't let stuff sit. And if you want more tangible advice, what I've been doing recently is when I buy stuff, it doesn't sit more than 3 days. That's my rule. It does not sit more than 3 days. And that's been working out great for us. I'm not physically allowed to go buy any more stuff until that last load is listed. How long did it take you to go full-time? As far as full-time reselling, we still are not full-time resellers. We are full-time in the space of reselling, but, and I've always been completely honest with this too and transparent about it since day one, Our income is not just from reselling. We also have our VIP group. We have affiliate marketing. We have our YouTube channel ad revenue. We've got our daily OA business. So we've got many streams of income that make up our whole business model. Reselling specifically is roughly, I'd say, about 60% of that. So I don't consider ourselves full-time resellers from an income perspective, but yes, we are in the full-time reselling space, including the services that we provide. But how long did it take us to go there? I mean, it's kind of a weird situation. We're in a different spot than most people are. So I was already self-employed when we came into this. I was doing massage therapy and personal fitness coaching. And Trista had a full-time job. And we transitioned out of all of that. It probably took a year and a half until we fully transitioned over and quit the jobs. I stopped doing massage therapy a few years ago. Same thing with the health and fitness coaching. I still take on clients, usually just by request. I have people message me. They're like, hey, I'm in a really unhealthy spot. I want to do well in my reselling business, but also I want to feel good again and have more energy to then increase the business. That I still work with. So quick plug, if anyone does need fitness coaching, nutrition, and that kind of stuff, I still do take on clients. I just don't like blast it or anything like that. Yeah, inbox zero is awesome in theory. There's been a few times where I've gotten it down to zero and I was very, very happy. And then I woke up the next morning and it was not at zero anymore. I've given up the idea of trying to please every single person in the inbox because it's not going to happen. Unless I would legit have to spend like 2 to 3 hours a day to keep that thing at zero, which is fine. I love getting in the inbox and helping everyone. But it's tough, very tough. I sent you a message on Facebook about a store that's liquidating. Thought you might be interested. We are definitely interested, depending on the store, pricing, etc. And I will go through my Facebook messages tonight and hunt that down. If you could do me a favor and just copy and paste it or hit or push bump, or you have to type it out bump, it'll get you to the top of my inbox, so I'll be able to see it. Let's see, we got, my sister's on. What's up, sister? Got a bunch of Star Wars paperback, 2003, 2005 scanned. They're scanned in 3 different prices, $4.99, $18.35. How do I know which one to list? It's completely up to you. I mean, I need more information. Depends on if we're talking about FBA, I'm assuming. It depends on if the $4.99 is merchant filled or prime. I doubt it's prime. So I need a little bit more info on that. Typically with my buying criteria and how I list stuff as far as pricing goes, I like to kind of hang out middle of the road with FBA. Usually whatever the buy box is, I'll just match that. And then I just set my repricer and I just let it go after that. That's the amazing part about a repricer. I rarely ever go through and have to look at that stuff anymore. I just set my repricer for what my rock bottom ROI would be, which in my case is 20%. And it goes in there and it battles for me. I don't have to really pay attention to that. How do you know what's a fast-moving product? In 2 different ways. Amazon FBA has something called Keepa, which is a sales rank history chart. Highly recommend you just suck it up and pay the $17 a month. It is worth it. So you get to see the whole data history of that product. So you can see what's called a sales rank, which is showing how quickly something is moving, and not just current sales rank, but the history of it, which is more beneficial than seeing a current sales rank. So Amazon gives you a lot more data up front. eBay, not so much data to work off of. You'd have to use sold history. So instead of seeing a nice chart with squiggly lines and dots for price points and stuff, eBay is just going to be a list. So you hit sold on whatever you're looking at. And if you see multiple selling per week, it's a quick mover. Typically, it depends on the product, right? 2 VCRs versus 2, grocery items, completely different game. But usually that's how we do our basic research, though. Nothing fancy. What I've learned is this shit is pretty simple. We as humans love to overcomplicate it, and people love to confuse themselves and overanalyze. And this is a very simple business model. The consistency is the hard part, but it's a simple business. How do you know what to list items like shirts as, let's say, a Mickey shirt? Kind of goes along another question I see here, which is how do you look up comps for clothing? I don't do a lot of clothing, but depends on the piece of clothing. So if we're looking at something like Nike, Adidas, etc., there's actually a tag on the inside of the shirt. I'm just assuming we're talking about shirts here. The inside of the shirt will have a tag with the style code. Fairly simple to find that. If you are looking at something that is not going to have a style code or anything like that, like a Mickey t-shirt, then it's just a matter of research. So you have to start with the keywords Mickey t-shirt. And then if there's any certain pose that Mickey is doing, if there's any other things in the picture, you start to add those keywords in and hopefully you find the same thing. Tip number 2, take a picture of it. And you can search directly in eBay based on a photo. And if any other listings pop up that have that similar photo, they will come up. That kind of gives you an idea on price points. If you can't find the exact same one, you can find similar ones. And then also Google reverse image search as well. What is one, Matt, what is one item to stay away from during Q4? Fingerlings. Do not sell fingerlings. They had their run. We made a lot of money on them, but no more. No more. Ah, that's cool. Pokemon Sellers just lives over in Astoria, not too far from where I am. I have not been to Astoria in a while, though. Fat guy life hack. Now we're speaking. This is talking my language. If you go to Chipotle and ask for half steak, half chicken, you actually get 2 scoops of meat at no extra charge. I can confirm that is 100% true. Because there's only 2 places I eat when it comes to like fast food or eating out. Chipotle, because of that reason, you can keep everything fairly low carb, which is my personal preference on nutrition plan. And then Wendy's, just because you can get burger, no bun. And for fast food, they probably have the better quality. It's not great quality, but those are the only 2 places I eat. So I'm definitely familiar with the fat guy life hack there. I became full-time after a week of watching your videos. That's awesome, Jeff. Congrats. So going back to the question about the 3 different prices, says FBA, the lower one was merchant filled. Honestly, when it comes to that, if you are going to FBA it, just ignore the merchant prices. Go by the prime. Why is the buy box different than the lowest price? Typically, the buy box makes up its mind. I don't care which video you watch, whose book you read. The buy box, no one knows 100% how it works, okay? It's a combination of the right price. You also play a role with region. So if I'm up here in Oregon and I have something listed that is in an Oregon warehouse, let's say, or like Northwest, it can be in Seattle too. So this Northwest area, I'm going to control the buy box around my area a lot more than someone in Florida is going to control the buy box if the customer is in my area. If the customer is in Florida, they will control the buy box for that customer down there as well. So it really depends on what the customer's eyes are seeing. So that's called a regional buy box. So there's a couple different tweaks that can be involved with that. But typically, that's a huge misconception and myth about Amazon is a lot of people think the lower the price, the better your chance of getting in buy box. That is not true at all. A lot of people are throwing money down the drain and losing money because they're tanking their price down because they think it's going to win the buy box more. And oftentimes it doesn't. That's, again, getting a repricer is huge, guys, because the repricer will do all that for you. It will fight to get the buy box and then raise the price of the buy box. You don't have to worry about any of that. Gypsy Jean said, you hate my question. 3rd time. I honestly, it's the first time I've seen it. If you guys have ever been on YouTube chats on our end as content creators, the thing literally goes up and down. It bumps when new questions come in. So that's why it's so easy for me to miss stuff. And that's why I tell you guys, just copy and paste if I miss anything. But the question was, any suggestions on what type of items to sell quick to qualify? Oh, to qualify for the required 25 sales for Q4 FBM. So what that's relating to is, if you guys have not gotten the email, go in and look at your email, whatever email that you have set up for Amazon. Go and read that. It states that in Q4, so after you have until October 14th, you have to merchant fill any category, any item, just merchant fill 25 items so that you can then qualify to merchant fill toys and games category throughout Q4. If you do not do that, you will have to go FBA. You will not be allowed to merchant fill games and toys category as far as Q4 goes. So what I recommend is go into any store, go into the dollar store if you want to keep it on the cheap side, go into Walmart, go in somewhere. You are going to go and scan literally everything. Scan items until you find really quick movers. So you're looking for really fast selling ranks, right? Closer to the number one, the better. You're not going to buy stuff to make a profit. I think that's where people are going wrong. A lot of people are like, I can't find anything to merchant fill to get qualified for the 25 orders. Just for the sake of getting your 25 orders, break even. Because you are basically paying to break even to unlock your ability to then make your money during Q4 merchant filling. And you can beat the FBA sellers. So you're not going in looking for profit necessarily. Go in, find stuff that you're not going to, don't lose money. Okay. I'm never going to tell you to lose money, but go in and find stuff that is quick moving. So you got to look at your Keepa chart. You got to look at the sales rank, find quick movers that are break even. You're going to get your money back. Maybe you'll make a few cents profit or a couple bucks or something like that. Ideally you can make profit, but if you just want your 25 orders, quick movers, break even, flip your 25 items. I know people in our VIP group that did it within a few days. And we've done this. I have sold stuff like Post-it notes, pens, boring crap like that just to get the merchant fill numbers. What tips do you have for me, being that I'm new to this? It's like I need way more info than that. Are you new to Amazon, new to eBay? Have you created an account? I need to know more information so I can give you a better answer. There's a laundry list of 8,000 tips I can give you, but they're not. Some of them won't be relevant, so I have to know what's going to be relevant to you. Also said, are you interested in being a guest on our show? Sure. We're always game to powwow with people. Just shoot me a message. When are you guys going to do a meet and greet out here in Florida? You're a big inspiration. Wife and I are going nuts after watching your videos. Devlin, thank you so much for the support. Florida, we have not been to in a couple years, sadly. Our last Florida trip was 2017. Geez, it has been 2 years. 2017 was the last time we were in Florida. I've actually been meaning to book a Florida trip anyways, because I do have a great friend of mine that lives down in Fort Myers area. So maybe I'll hit him up and get something scheduled where we can fly down, have some fun, and then host a good meetup. And then Fort Myers is just south of Tampa, which of course Rally Roots. We've been meaning to do a meetup with those guys too. That's one of my goals in 2020 is I want to fly into several different cities and host one-day meetups. So that's going to be something on my agenda. But yeah, Florida is definitely on our list. And then there might possibly be something happening in Florida in February that I will be at. So keep an eye out for, I'll do a video when that drops. All right, and we've got about 10 more minutes left on the clock. So if you guys got last minute questions, drop those in the chat. Do you guys recommend Amazon Prep Centers for beginners? You can. If you're new, I mean, Prep Centers have their place, right? If you are brand new, just make sure you are working in the cost of the prep center into your buying criteria, because a lot of people might miss that portion. So if you're only going to make a $2 profit on an item, but you send it to a prep center that then costs you $1.50, not really worth it. But if I know people that are living in a small apartment. Maybe they have wholesale accounts that don't deliver to residential. That's where prep centers can be very, very beneficial. But what I recommend for beginners, I mean, it can work out both ways. So it's 50-50. I wish I had a more clear answer for you. Ultimately, it just comes down to find one that you like their pricing. It seems like they have a great presence, and try them out for a month. If there's any issues, then just stop using them. I like to tell people in the beginning, especially, I would prefer you to do the work yourself so you understand the exact process every single step along the way, and then you can start to outsource. Prep Center being a method of doing that. Quick movers, but no FBA on it. Not necessarily. I literally just yesterday sold something FBM, which is merchant filling, that has plenty of FBA sellers on it. So FBA typically is going to dominate more, but there's still a lot of profit, or not just profit. There's a lot of sales that you can make for those 25 orders just by doing FBM. When you scan books using a scanner, do you have to be subscribed to Scoutify 2 and a business Amazon account? You see with the scanner. If you want to use Scoutify 2, yes, you will have to have Inventory Lab to be able to use Scoutify 2. And to use Inventory Lab, which is where you get Scoutify. I'm trying to think of my thought process here. To use Inventory Lab, you do need an Amazon account. As far as the pro account versus individual, I don't believe, I have not messed with it in a while. So someone correct me if I'm wrong. I don't believe you need a pro account to use Scoutify 2. As far as the scanner goes, though, there's more options in Scoutify 2. A scanner will work with the regular Amazon Sellers app. It's a pain because it doesn't automatically highlight the cursor, so you have to tap on the search bar each scan you do, so that's a pain. So Scoutify 2 is very, very handy for doing that. Can't sell Peeps until FBA until close to October 1st. Yep. Yeah, any of your meltable stuff, October 1st, the floodgates open. I'm scared for the workers that work in these warehouses like October 5th, 6th, and 7th because of the wave of multiple stuff. Meltable products are going to be hitting in. Your green bubble wrap bungee is one hole off and my OCD can't handle it. I guess it is. Yep. Wait, no. Nope, those are on the same peg, believe it or not. The bubble wrap is scooted over on it, but the actual pegs are actually on the same one. It's weird. It looks different in the camera than it does behind me. Shout out and thank you so much for the $5 super chat. All right, last minute questions. Do speed round, go. Since I'm FBA, why would I want to open merchant filled in Q4, or is that just for FBMs? The benefit is, especially when it comes to stuff like once we figure out what some of the hot toys are going to be, everyone is buying these to send into FBA, which takes a few days to get in there. And by the time that the waves of FBA sellers send all their stuff in, prices are going to come down. It's just supply versus demand. When the supply hits the warehouse, the demand is still there, but the price is going to be coming down. So while they're shipping their stuff, you can be making sales and shipping it yourself. And that's the benefit of doing FBM, merchant filled, within Q4. We got Mr. Bearded. Can't talk tonight. Bearded Picker. Oh, Scott, I butchered it. Cannot talk today. Bearded Picker up in the house. What is this Amazon FBA that you speak of? That's this little side hustle. You should check it out, man. Do you have to be FBA business account to do 25 orders to qualify, or can you do on Amazon personal sales? You can do it on personal. Yeah, merchant filling, FBM, fulfillment by merchant, seller fulfilled. There's a couple different terms. Huge opportunity. A lot of people are missing out on. You can be flipping stuff merchant filled before the FBA shipments even get there. I started doing it on some seasonal items right now. What's up, Richie Hustles? Yeah, I've been selling the hell out of Peeps over the last few weeks. Merchant filled. Yeah, merchant filled is huge. Huge, huge, huge. Recently subscribed to your channel. Really appreciate the content. Left my 9 to 5 recently. Curious to know what you do for insurance. Private. Is private reasonable cost? A couple things we don't talk about here on the channel. Taxes, politics, insurance, because there's so many different options out there. You can use stuff like Christian Healthcare Ministries. A lot of state insurances will be able to cover people. Tons of different options out there. None of them are cheap, if that's what you're looking for. We definitely pay up. Bearded picker pimpin'. That's hilarious. All right, crew. We got 2 more minutes. I'll take a few more questions. And then I've got to get back to work, finishing up editing a video, which will be posted first thing tomorrow morning for you guys. Scroll up here, make sure I didn't miss any questions. I think we hit all of them, which is rare. Dang, nice. 200 listings done in 17 days. That's amazing. Have an awesome night, Noel. Thank you so much. If you do merchant filled, won't shipping crush you? Nope. Because look into, if you haven't done the research on it, look into merchant filling, because you actually get a shipping credit. If you do free shipping, you're going to get a shipping credit back. And that's where a lot of people can make up some profit. And that's why a lot of the booksellers, if you see merchant filled booksellers are selling books for $1, $2, $3, and you're wondering how are they making money doing that? Because they get a shipping credit on top of that. So they are making a few dollars profit on those sales. Is frustration-free packaging something done by Amazon or by the merchant? I have not looked into that at all, so I have no idea how that whole thing works. How do you unblock categories on Amazon? I'm trying to sell magic cards. You have to go through a distributor to get an invoice for the brand that you are trying to sell. Do you have to have sales FBA to sell Q4? Susan, I'm trying to make sure I got the questions right. Do you have to have sales FBA to sell in Q4? You don't have to have any sales to be able to open an account and start selling, if that's what you were referring to. But you have to merchant fill at least 25 items by October 1st if you want to merchant fill any products. Well, in the toys and games category throughout Q4. All right, crew. That has been our show for the evening. Last question just came in is a wholesaler technically a distributor, or are the invoices not good enough for Amazon? If you're talking about, real quick, slight tangent, liquidation is not wholesale. Let me just throw that out there. There's a lot of liquidators that call themselves wholesalers. Not how it works. Wholesale is working with an authorized distributor that carries a brand or working with the brand directly. So you're ordering case packs, not just leftover stuff from Walmart that someone bought through a pallet liquidation center. That's not going to be wholesale. Those invoices, good luck. So you need an authentic, legit invoice from a real distributor, directly from the brand, preferably. All right, crew. There we go. Thank you so much for tuning in. We've got a lot of videos coming out. I've been doing a lot of recording lately, so now it's getting to the editing portion. I've got my editor back on staff, going to be helping us out with some more videos, doing some vlogs for you guys. If you're not following us on Instagram, that is kind of like daily behind the scenes. We don't do a lot of uploading here on YouTube, but we do upload on stories mode on Instagram every single day. So you get to see a lot more behind the scenes, what goes on in this warehouse. But aside from that, thanks for tuning in. And I forgot to plug our own Instagram handle is the Side Hustle Network. So tag us there. Let us know that you are a new subscriber. Hit me on my inbox in there, and I will be going through and hammering through those inboxes for you guys. But aside from that, peace out, crew. We'll see you next time.